game review. Hello everybody, my name is livalil and you are watching Trash. So I know this isn't a gaming video, but I'm sorry. I was supposed to play Fortnite, but I don't know, I don't really like the game. I already knew from the beginning it wasn't going to be my style, and I thought maybe I'd give it a chance, but I tried playing it on my own for a little bit and I realized that I am so far behind in the game that I just get killed like immediately off the bat, and I can't do like anything, cool and gameplay worthy. So I couldn't film it. I couldn't do it. Speaking of games that I don't like, I was like, well, maybe I can make a video on what games I do like, so then some people can get my recommendations and yeah, just know stuff that I like. I want to start off by saying that this is my opinion on these games, and if you don't like it, that is fine. I know some people really love a game. I personally don't like that game. It's not that the game itself is bad, it's just that I don't like that specific kind of thing in the game. Also, I would like to add on that all of these games will be story-based games, just because, I don't know, those are the type I find like most intriguing. I either really like it or I don't necessarily like it. I've never hated a game, but narrative stories are just the type of games that I want to like express. So yeah. And because I won't know like enough about any other game to know whether I like it or hate it. Anyway, let's get on with the video. First game, if you're a subscriber here, then you already know that I love Firewatch. Let me read off a summary of the game. Firewatch is a mystery set in the Wyoming wilderness where your only emotional lifeline is the person on the other end of a handheld radio. In Firewatch, you play as a man named Henry who has retreated from his messy life to work as a fire lookout in the Wyoming wilderness. Perched high atop a mountain is your job to look for smoke and keep the wilderness safe. And especially a hot and dry summer has everyone on edge. Your supervisor, a woman named Delilah, is available to you at all times over a small handheld radio and is your only contact with the world you've left behind. When something strange draws you out of your lookout tower and into the world, you'll explore a wild and unknown environment, facing questions and making interpersonal choices that can build or destroy the only meaningful relationship you have. Wow. The reason why I like Firewatch so much is because of the graphics. I am a big graphics whore, if you can say that. I love the way that the nature was designed in that game. That's the first thing that drew me into it so freaking much. I have no clue how that game drew me in so much with the graphics, but it really did. And it's such a visually appealing game. I'm not going to spoil the game, but I definitely recommend playing it for yourself. And because it's my favorite game, my rating will be a 10 out of 10. Because it's just, I love it so much. Game number 2, Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is a continuation of the series Uncharted. Obviously, that's why there's a 4th one. Good job! So let me read you the summary. Set 3 years after the events of Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, Nathan Drake has presumably left the world of fortune hunting behind. However, it doesn't take long for adventure to come calling when Drake's brother Sam resurfaces seeking his help to save his own life and offering an adventure Drake can't resist. On the hunt for Captain Henry Avery's long-lost treasure, Sam and Drake set off to find Libertalia, the pirate utopia deep in the forests of Madagascar. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, takes players on a journey around the globe through jungle isles, urban cities, and snow-capped peaks on the search for Avery's fortune. Now I'm going to talk about why I like the game. Number 1, graphics. Always graphics. Naughty Dog is absolutely the best at making games that look as real as possible. They pay attention to so much detail. It's just, I find it amazing. The way that lighting changes as you rotate your camera. The scenery is such a big thing. My favorite place would probably have to be the island, either probably when the storm is happening. Nathan is like slipping on rocks and he's tired and he's been on this island for so long. I think not only the scenery of that part, but also the storyline is just so emotionally appealing, and it's so good. So not only the graphics are amazing, but the storyline is absolutely fantastic. It keeps you on edge. There's parts where it's really intense, and then they lean off to parts where like nice and relaxing and sweet. Like they have really good character connection. The characters have really good chemistry with each other. Dialogue sounds like real people speaking. It's not some kind of like cheesy like type of thing, but it sounds real, like it sounds authentic. From the beginning to the end, there is no part that I do not like. Overall, I have to give Uncharted, I'm giving it a 9.9 out of 10. Until Dawn. Yes. 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 Now, I know before I said that I don't like cheesy games, but this one particularly is fantastic. It was a super cliche and cheesy horror game. Let me read a summary first before I start talking about it. When 8 friends are trapped in a remote mountain retreat and things quickly turn sinister, they start to suspect they aren't alone. Gripped by fear and with tensions in the group running high, you'll be forced to make snap decisions that could mean life, death for everyone involved. Every choice you make in your terrifying search for answers, even the seemingly trivial ones, will carry out your unique story. With innovative choice mechanics and the butterfly effect interface, players can clearly see the path of their story amid the thousands that are possible. Seemingly insignificant choices, as well as huge moral dilemmas that will question your sense of fairness, good, and evil, can have major unforeseen consequences. The thing I like about this game is that your choices really do matter. In a lot of choice-based games, they pretty much lead back to the same path. It's almost as if the choice was really irrelevant and they could have just stuck with the story itself instead of actually making like a choice, like dialogue or something. This game, on the other hand, really did not do that. Even a small choice of choosing whether to shoot a beanbag or shoot an animal has a major consequence on the story, and your choices could lead to a character's death. So once a character is gone, they are gone. Like, you're not gonna get them back. Like with the horror aspect, it was cliche, so the jump scares and stuff were actually pretty stupid. Overall, all of the characters are very different in their own ways, and I think that's what makes the game so well, is that each character has their very own personality and their very own traits, which really makes a big difference in the choice-based portion of the game. Overall, I am rating this game a 9 out of 10 because it is really good, but not as good as other games. Moving on. Number 5, Oxenfree. Here is the summary. Alex, a teenager, is on the last ferry heading to the fictional Edwards Island for a weekend party. She's accompanied by Ren, her stoner friend, and Jonas, her new stepbrother. On the island, Alex and company meet Clarissa, Alex's late brother Michael's ex-girlfriend, and Nona. Ren explains the island was once a mystery base and that the island's only permanent resident, Maggie Adler, has recently died. After camping on the trip, Alex, Ren, and Jonas explore the nearby caves where it is rumored certain radio frequencies cause supernatural events. In a small cavern, Alex tunes her radio and unexpectedly forms a rift, and so on and so forth. I think this game is really cool. Okay, surprisingly, get this straight, the graphics is not what led me a lot that liking the story. Personally, I loved the personality of Alex, the main character, and also her style was really cute and I really liked it, but that's irrelevant. The plot of this game was really interesting and I think that's what drove me into it the most. And because I don't want to spoil anything else, I've already said a few things in the summary. That should get you enough to think, ooh, maybe I should look into this game. So I'm not going to talk about the plot, but I think the biggest thing was the plot. Some specifications I have on this game, though, is that it was hard to understand who each character was. At the very beginning, they were put on a boat and they were sent to this island and they were talking, and that's pretty much the only place that you could get a background information on every one of the characters. And even then, it was hard to understand each character and who they were and how they were related. The first time watching it, it was kind of hard to understand who everybody was, and that kind of did take away from the gameplay itself. But watching it a second time and knowing who the characters are, you know, after seeing the whole thing, then it was a lot more enjoyable to watch, even though I already knew what was going to happen, which also kind of takes it away from watching it for the second time. But at least I understood where the characters came from and, you know, why they were going to this island in the first place. So I guess that's my only big takeaway from it. The graphics were cool. It's a 2D game, so it's nothing like really grand and special. This is the developer's first game, so I understand it's not going to be some extravagant, crazy thing. But I mean, it was cool. It was cool. The graphics were cool. Overall rating, I would give it a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next is Undertale. Let me give you a summary of the game. Undertale takes place in the underground, a massive subterranean cave to where monsters who once lived harmoniously? Sure. With humans on the surface, have been banished after losing a war with humanity. The underground is sealed from the surface world by an uneven magic barrier created by humanity's most powerful wizards, the only point of entry being at Mount Abbot. A human child falls into the underground and encounters Flowey, a sentient flower who teaches them the game's mechanics and encourages them to raise their LV love by gaining EXP through killing monsters. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me give you a summary because I can't really find any good ones. So this person falls into the underground with all these monsters. Basically, she's just trying to find her way out. She wants to get out. She encounters all of these other monsters, some of which they want her to stay, and some of which they want to help her leave. I believe so. I mean, like, eventually she does get out. Sorry if I get it wrong. So there's like a few routes in this. I don't know all of them. I think there's a genocide route where you have to kill people in order to get out. There is a true pacifist route where you don't kill people to get out. And then there is both, where you don't kill, but you do kill some and you get out. This is a very like pixelated type of game. It's like an RPG game mixed into a the pixel is an art style. Like they did their own art, but it's like a pixelated type of game. Overall, this game didn't really pull me in at the start. I remember watching the first episode and I didn't really like it. I didn't understand the hype around it. I did eventually get to the end and I skipped a few episodes in the beginning because it was that boring to me, and I did finally watch to the end. It was okay, but really it wasn't really a good storyline. I'm sorry, but it really wasn't that good of a storyline. I feel like it's really confusing understanding the whole thing. It's confusing. It's really confusing. When I'm confused, I don't like the game. I want a good background story so I understand what the hell is going on. Overall, I would give the game a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, it's just I don't know. I don't really like it. I know a lot of people like this game, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh my god, you don't like Undertale? That's like the best game ever. How dare you say that? Well, I'm sorry. The final game, Night in the Woods. Let me give you a summary. College dropout May Borofsky returns home to the crumbling former mining town of Possum Springs. All May wants to do is run around with her friends, break stuff, and hang on a life of aggressive aimlessness. She dropped out of college and returned home to her crumbling old mining town to do just that. But she's finding that nothing is the same anymore. The old town seems different. Her old friends have grown in their own directions. May herself is undergoing some sudden and unexplained changes, giving her mysterious abilities that grant her access to a side of the town she never knew existed. The world is changing, things are ending, and the future is uncertain. Up behind the park at the edge of town, back in the trees by the old mine, there's something in the woods, and it could mean no future at all. So here's my review on it. The beginning was interesting and I watched it like halfway, and then at a point it was just, I felt like the plot wasn't really going anywhere. Even though there were some strange things happening, most of the game was pretty boring. I don't even think I actually finished watching it. I don't really know what else to say to it. I guess I just can't relate to it. I know some friends who are like, yeah, I know how that is. Like, you know, like you have to be an adult. You have to start working and stuff. All her friends are doing stuff and they have to get on with their lives. And she's like, I don't want to do that. She's like, I don't even want to have a job. She just wants to live her life doing really nothing. Overall, I'd give the game 5 out of 10 because I still think it was better than Undertale, but I couldn't bring myself to finish it. Okay, so that was all the games I'm going to review in this video. I hope that this gave you some insight. Maybe you want to check out a new games, maybe you want to avoid some games. Honestly, these are just my opinions. You could end up liking a game or really hating it, so take what you will. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully maybe I found a new game to play, because right now I'm really struggling on trying to find a game to play. Oh, and also about that, my schedule is very hectic right now, so I am going to lower my upload schedule back to 1 video a week. I apologize, but now I started playing tennis. I barely even have enough time to do the stuff that I want to do, because not on top of homework and tennis, it's a lot. So bear with me. When spring break comes around, I'll try to get a lot of videos out just to kind of make up for it, depending on if I get more games to play and see what I like. After that, pretty much, I'll try to get on a regular schedule basis. Once June comes around, I will probably be uploading a lot more. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.